Trent. Don Hanks. Northwestern University. Huntington Beach. Greer Road. Willett. Willens. Bell. Cadillac El Dorado. Ms. Malone.
I am the witness.
For the plaintiff attorney, I will be Mr. Polito.
I will be defense attorney number 1, Ms. Tripp.
I will be defense attorney number 2, Mr. Wagner.
And I will begin with a question. Ready? Can you please state and spell your full name for the record?
Stephen Davis Dalton, StephenDavisDalton.
Mr. Dalton, in your opinion, did you find that the driver of the vehicle, Mr. Trent, had any comparative fault for this accident that we are here on?
No, I didn't.
When were you first retained as an expert in this case?
August 13, 1995.
I'm going to go through some of the work that you did. Did you visit the scene of the accident?
One of my associates did.
Who was that?
Don Hanks, Hanks.
Was that Hanks?
Yes.
You personally didn't visit the scene, right?
Correct.
When did Mr. Hanks first... He is employed by you, right?
Yes.
What is his title?
Associate Accident Expert.
Does he have any type of degree?
No. He has gone through the classes for accident reconstruction through Northwestern University.
How long has he worked for you as an associate?
For a period of about 5 years.
When did Mr. Hanks first visit the scene?
August 27th of 1995.
I'm going to get into a little bit of what he did at the scene to your knowledge. Did he take notes or anything in your file that is generated by Mr. Hanks?
Well, and refined by me. He gave me the measurements and I made the diagram that we have here.
I see. The diagram that you are pointing to and which is part of your file is not something that Hanks created. You created it based on information that he gave to you?
Correct.
Other than that diagram, are there any notes or anything by Mr. Hanks?
Yes.
What is that?
A deposition summary or summaries of what he read and the depositions of Mr. Martin and Ms. Malone.
Okay.
There are 3 pages of yellow-lined paper.
And that's his writing?
Yes, it is.
I think I have that here. That's by Mr. Hanks.
It should be 3 pages.
Is there anything else by Mr. Hanks in your file?
The photographs were taken by Mr. Hanks and the writing on the back of it was also by him. And that's it.
So, we have got the 3-page summary in his handwriting and the photos, correct?
Correct.
About his measurements that you used to create your diagram, are there any handwritten notes with his measurements on it?
No. We met in my office and went over it, and I made the diagram at that time.
Did he have notes with him?
He probably did. I don't have his notes.
Do you know if he still has them?
I don't know. By the way, he is a police officer, City of Huntington Beach.
Currently?
Yes.
He is also, as a second job, he is employed by you.
Yes, probably me and other accident experts also. I think as we need him, we call him.
Okay.
I am sure he works for more than just me.
Not that this matters necessarily, but is he some kind of independent contractor?
Correct.
He is not employed by you on a daily basis.
That's correct.
What is his address, if you know?
No, I don't know.
If I have to subpoena him for any reason, where would I do that?
Subpoena him through me, through my office.
And you will accept that?
Yes.
I don't know that I will need to. Here are your pictures. I guess we can all look on with these.
Yes.
It is kind of hard to make 2-sided copies real quick. Other than August 27, 95, did Mr. Hanks ever visit the scene again?
No.
Let's go to August 27, 95. Do you know what Mr. Hanks did? When did he arrive at the scene that day?
He spent 2.5 hours at the scene, and I'm not certain what time he arrived there and what time he left, but what he did there was to make the measurements of the lanes. He measured the distances between the Greer Road and the point of impact and measured the distance from Willett. Is that it, Willett?
Willens, I believe. It is on the back of this.
Willens, Willens. He also took photographs in progression, 1 through... Are these still in order?
I hope so.
7 photographs showing the distance from Willens to the point of impact, and then from the point of impact, after he measured the distance of 500 feet, he had then timed bicycles as they traveled that distance, 500 feet. And in one instance, he had a female and a male on separate bicycles traveling together, and he computed their speed at 19 miles per hour, and that looked rather slow pedaling. And the second timing of bicycles was another female and male, and they were pedaling more rapidly. And he calculated their speed at 22 miles per hour.
Let me see that. Willans, how far is Willans from Greer?
I believe it is 691. He was measuring from the point of impact to Willans.
So he was there for about 2.5 hours. He took measurements, correct?
Yes.
And he measured the distance from Greer Road, from Willans Avenue to the point of impact?
Right.
And he took photographs?
Yes, he did.
And he timed bicyclists?
Yes.
How many bicyclists did he time?
A total of 4.
Do we know what type of bicycles they were riding?
No.
Any of them?
No.
Do you know if it was like a 10-speed as opposed to a mountain bike?
No, I don't know what it was. When I said he was there for 2.5 hours, that would include his travel time also. Hopefully, it included his travel time. That's all I paid him for.
Do you have, based on that, do you have an estimate of how long he actually spent at the scene?
Well, if the 2.5 hours included 100 miles of travel,
I am going to object as calls for speculation. You can go ahead.
I really don't know how long he was there, how long it took him to get there. You can just figure normal travel time.
Would that include the time from when he left to get there and when he returned back?
Objection calls for speculation.
I am trying to figure out how much time is included in the 2.5 hours, or if you have any estimate at all as to how much time of that 2.5 hours was spent at the scene.
No, it would be speculation on my part.
It included travel time. Do you have an estimate of how much travel time that included?
Same objection.
No, I don't. I don't know if he included it, but it was 100 miles.
Total?
Yes, is that from his place of residence?
That's from my office.
Oh, your office?
Yeah.
Did he have to return to your office?
That was round trip.
Round trip?
Yeah.
Where is your office located?
Bell. It used to be Bell at that time.
So he went from Bell to the scene and then back afterwards?
Correct.
And that was included in the 2.5 hours.
I am supposing that. I am not certain of it.
Did you pay him for that?
I paid him 2.5 hours and 100 miles and 7 photos.
Do we know of the 4 cyclists that he timed? Do we know what point they started out at?
Yes, he started at a point where he had 500 feet measured.
I see. So it would be somewhere east of Greer Road?
It would be west of Willans to the point of impact, so it would be down the same, they would be down the same grade as Mrs. Malone was traveling.
So it was a point of 500 feet east of the point of impact.
Correct.
And then from that point he timed the cyclists?
Right, yeah, that's what I have here.
He timed 4 cyclists. Of the 4, how many were female?
2.
Do we know their ages?
Approximately 30.
Were they wearing helmets?
He didn't mention that.
Were any wearing some kind of headset or anything?
He didn't mention that.
Radio, headphones?
He didn't mention that.
Do we know their sizes or their dimensions?
No, he just mentioned that it was a male and female and both sets of bicycles.
2 females and 2 males?
Yes, there was a male and female riding together and a male and female riding together.
2 couples riding together?
Yes.
But it was not a tandem bicycle. They were just riding
Separate bicycles.
like one after the other?
Right, or alongside each other.
One racing the other, basically?
I don't know.
One ahead of the other. They weren't riding parallel within the bike lane, were they?
I am going to object as vague and ambiguous.
I am trying to see how they were riding.
When you say that they were, how are you talking about? Each set of 2?
Yeah.
You are not talking about the set of people side by side?
No, he is talking basically 2 couples rode at separate times.
Right, I don't know if they were alongside each other or one behind the other.
I see. Did Mr. Hanks do anything else at the scene?
He measured the grade at 2%, downgrade from Willans to point of impact.
Just to kind of wrap up, he did a 3-page summary of depots. He took photos at the scene, he measured, took measurements, and he timed cyclists, correct?
Right.
That's what he did at the scene, correct?
Correct.
Nothing else was ever done at the scene, correct?
Correct.
Any maps or diagrams are part of your file today, correct?
Yes.
And I have seen that document. Do we have any survey data?
No.
The measurements that Mr. Hanks took, are they expressed in your diagram?
Yes, they are. And they are expressed in some cases by seconds, some cases by feet, and in some cases by... The lanes were measured by 1 inch equals 20 feet on the diagram. They are not necessarily marked.
Is that noted on the diagram?
Yes.
Are these photographs that Mr. Hanks took the only photographs that you relied on other than the ones in the discovery file?
Yes.
Can I see the ones in the discovery file just to kind of flip through? Are they the colored ones in the discovery file?
They are laser prints.
Those are the only photographs you have looked at, right?
Yes.
Is that it?
That's all there is.
Have you ever seen